P-51 Mustang is one of the most iconic World War II aircraft in history, not just for the Americans, but on both sides. The Mustang was the first airplane that was able to escort our bombers, American and British bombers, from England all the way to Berlin and then back. Okay, so it was able to stay with them the entire time, because for a period of time there, we were getting heavy bomber losses because our guys didn't have the fuel to take them all the way to Berlin and back. So this airplane was the first one that was able to stay with the bombers, fight, and come home. This Mustang behind me is a 1945 model P-51. It was built too late to be in World War II, but it served with numerous National Guard units after the war, and then it sold surplus in 1957 to two gentlemen, and then the second gentleman was killed in a crash December 1st, 1961. It remained at the bottom of the Puget Sound, and some parts washed ashore, and that's where the project came from. So my father and a partner found out about the paperwork to this airplane and purchased it, and began finding parts and pieces from all over the world to try to make one airplane. This airplane was made up of over 200 different Mustang projects that we had found around the world. But I grew up building this airplane with my father. This airplane was my after-school project for a lot of years. My dad passed away on March 12, 2013 to cancer. His dream was to see this airplane fly for many, many more years. The airplane is unbelievably expensive to operate. It's around $2,000 an operating hour just to get the airplane, just to keep it flying. And air shows really don't pay enough to pay all of our costs in order to do that, which my primary job is manufacturing parts and pieces for the P-51, since every external skin on this airplane except for two was handmade and replaced. We have the skill and the machinery to duplicate those parts and manufacture those for P-51 projects and Mustang owners around the world. So the high school has an amazing engineering department. They have a lot of 3D printers, and they're in the middle of doing right now is 3D printing her a new leg. It'll strap onto her, it'll hold on to her existing portion here of her leg, and she will once again have 4 legs. Yeah, unfortunately we can't 3D print parts for the airplane yet. So the best airshow pilot that really has ever lived, his name was Bob Hoover. In my quest to one day be the best, I kind of have a large hurdle to get over, because if someone like Bob is leading the way, if there's someone leading the way, the best you'll ever be is second place. It's incredibly important to keep this going. One, because of my father's legacy and his mission and his vision, and two, to put food on the table every day. So since the airplane is $2,000 an operating hour, and air shows don't pay all of that, the obvious answer is to find the source of the funds somewhere else, which the big grand scheme, the pie in the sky, is a sponsorship. You want big companies to sponsor you to help with their marketing or their mission, and obviously pay for the rest of your operating cost and even a little bit of your living, because right now I'm not making anything in the airshow circuit. It's all going to the airplane. 100% of it's going to the airplane. So other than the financial burden, the good side of air shows is tens of millions of people attend these shows every year. To be able to demonstrate an aircraft like a P-51 is an absolute, it's a dream. I mean, you can come visit these airplanes in museums all you want, but until you hear them, smell them, taste them, feel the energy and excitement of one as it goes by, you're not going to get the full enjoyment of a P-51. They're as beautiful to look at as they are to hear fly. Every year, at the latter part of July, early part of August, the Experimental Aviation Association has their annual fly-in. It is the Super Bowl, Daytona 500, the World Series, all rolled into one. That's where the top pilots in the world go to demonstrate their aircraft and demonstrate their abilities in front of, once again, millions of people. That's the place to be, and I've flown at Oshkosh several times over the past couple of years. Very privileged to do that, and to keep that going is another challenge. It takes a lot of attaboys to take up for one aircraft, But you're not going to get a true appreciation until you hear this thing start up. Let's pull this thing out and go flying.
what you knew. Double up or quit, double strike or split. The ace is fate, the ace is fate. You know I'm going to lose, and gambling's for fools. But that's the way I like it, baby. I don't want to live forever.